Your indoor cat seems fine. They have food. They have shelter. They have toys. They have you. What more could they possibly crave? But what if your cat is desperately asking for things you're completely missing? What if right now, today, your cat is displaying signs that they're craving something specific, and you're interpreting it as just being a cat? The truth is most owners never notice what their indoor cats are actually begging for because those cravings express themselves in subtle ways. Today on CreatureCode, we're exploring 8 things your indoor cat deeply craves but most owners completely miss. And once you start seeing these cravings, you'll understand your cat on a completely different level. Opening question. Watch where your cat goes when they're stressed or seeking safety. Do they stay on the ground? Probably not. They climb. They seek high places. They perch on top of furniture. Most owners see this and think, oh, my cat just likes to be up high. She's comfortable there. But what if what you're interpreting as comfort is actually a deep craving your cat is expressing? Psychology/why it matters. Vertical space isn't just comfort to cats. It's control. When your cat is elevated, they can see their entire environment. They can observe potential threats. They can assess safety. They can control what they see. For an indoor cat in an unpredictable environment, vertical space is how they regain a sense of control. It's how they manage anxiety. It's how they feel secure. A cat without access to sufficient vertical space is a cat living in a constant state of vulnerability. They can't see what's coming. They can't control their visual field. They're anxious. The Science Credibility, a 2018 study, examined environmental preference in indoor cats, specifically focusing on vertical space accessibility. Researchers provided cats with varying levels of vertical space and measured behavioral responses. Findings. Cats with access to vertical space showed 30% lower cortisol levels. Cats with restricted vertical space showed elevated stress behaviors. Cats actively sought vertical space when stressed. Cats without vertical space showed increased hiding and avoidance behaviors. When researchers increased vertical space in previously under-enriched environments, stress behaviors decreased significantly within 2 to 3 weeks. Owner mistake identification. Most owners see their cat climbing and think they're meeting the need. But insufficient vertical space is one of the most common deficiencies in indoor cat environments. Owners who significantly increase vertical options report dramatic behavioral improvements. Solution: actionable. Assess your vertical space. How many high places can your cat access easily? Are these places comfortable or just accessible? Can your cat observe the room from above? Add vertical infrastructure. Wall-mounted shelves, creating pathways and perches. Cat trees, providing multiple levels. Window perches, combining height with visual stimulation. Furniture arrangement, allowing climbing progression. Create vertical highways where your cat can move room to room without touching ground. The payoff. When you provide adequate vertical space, your cat's stress decreases visibly. They're calmer. They spend more time in open spaces instead of hiding. They're less anxious. You've met a craving they've been expressing all along. Opening question. Your cat sits at the window for hours, staring out, watching birds, following movement. You think, she's just looking outside. That's fine entertainment. But what if that window craving is your cat desperately seeking connection to the natural world they're biologically designed to engage with? Psychology/why it matters. Your cat's predatory system is wired for outdoor stimulation. Birds, movement, sounds, textures, scents. An indoor cat without window access is a cat cut off from the sensory world their brain expects. The window isn't just entertainment. It's a lifeline to the stimulation their nervous system needs. The craving for window access is the craving to stay neurologically engaged with an environment that's alive. The Science Credibility, a 2019 study, examined environmental enrichment through window access in indoor cats. Researchers compared cats with window access to cats without, measuring behavioral engagement, stress levels, and cognitive function. Findings. Cats with window access showed 50% more active engagement throughout the day. Window access reduced stress-related behaviors by 35%. Cats without window access showed reduced cognitive stimulation and increased boredom behaviors. Window birds specifically triggered predatory engagement that enriched mental life. When researchers increased window access in previously deprived cats, behavioral engagement increased significantly. Owner mistake identification. Most owners have windows but don't optimize them for cats. Windows are just windows, not recognized as critical enrichment. Owners who specifically optimize window space, perches, bird feeders outside, accessible placement. Report dramatically more engaged cats. Solution, actionable optimize window access. Place comfortable perches at window level, ensure windows are accessible, not blocked by furniture. Install bird feeders outside, guaranteed stimulation. Keep windows open, safely. When weather permits, position comfortable resting spots at windows. Create what I call the cat viewing platform. A dedicated window space where your cat can comfortably spend time engaging with outdoor activity. The payoff. When you optimize window access and provide outdoor stimulation, your cat's entire engagement level increases. They spend less time sleeping out of boredom. They're mentally active. They're happier. You've tapped into a craving they've been expressing through constant window sitting. Opening question. Your cat pounces on toys. They chase things. They seem to hunt. You think, great, my cat is being predatory. The hunting need is being met. But what if your cat is desperately craving something specific that you're not noticing? The completion of the hunting sequence. Psychology/why it matters. Hunting isn't just about chasing. It's a complete sequence. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch. A cat's predatory system isn't satisfied until the sequence is complete. When a cat catches prey, there's a neurological resolution. Satisfaction. The hunting drive settles. But most indoor cats' hunts never result in catches. The toy escapes. The prey gets away. The sequence never completes. So the predatory system remains activated and unsatisfied. It's like being hungry and smelling food but never eating. The science, credibility. A 2020 study examined the neurological satisfaction of complete versus incomplete hunting sequences in cats. Researchers measured dopamine levels and behavioral outcomes when cats either successfully completed hunts or were prevented from catching prey. Findings. Successful catches resulted in dopamine release and behavioral satisfaction. Unsuccessful hunts left dopamine levels elevated. Unsatisfied. Cats with regular successful hunts showed fewer destructive behaviors. Cats without successful completions showed persistent activation of predatory drive. When researchers ensured successful catches in play sessions, predatory-driven problem behaviors decreased significantly. Owner mistake identification. Most owners think play is just about movement. They don't realize the completion is the critical component. Owners who specifically ensure successful catches, using wand toys they control, letting the cat win, report dramatically calmer, more satisfied cats. Solution, actionable restructure play for completion. Use wand toys you control, not stationary toys. Create realistic prey behavior. Fleeing, hiding, struggling. Allow your cat to catch the toy. This is critical. Let them feel the kill. Hold still briefly so they feel successful. Repeat this sequence 10 to 15 times per session. The completion is what satisfies the predatory system. The payoff. When you provide hunting sequence completions, your cat's predatory system finally feels satisfied. The zoomies decrease. Destructive behaviors decrease. Your cat seems calmer and more content. You've met a craving they've been expressing through endless stalking and pouncing. Opening question. Your cat rubs their face on furniture. On you. On door frames. On everything, really. You think, oh, she's just marking her territory. That's normal. But what if that constant rubbing is your cat desperately trying to create a sense of ownership and familiarity in an environment that doesn't feel like theirs? Psychology/why it matters. Your cat has scent glands on their face, body, and paws. When they mark by rubbing, they're not being random. They're creating olfactory ownership. They're saying, this is mine. This is safe. This is home. An indoor cat living in an environment that doesn't smell like them doesn't fully feel like home. The craving to mark is the craving to make the space genuinely theirs. When you actively erase their scent marks, constantly washing blankets, cleaning surfaces, you're undoing their work. You're preventing them from creating the olfactory landscape they need. The science, credibility. A 2019 study examined the importance of scent marking and its relationship to feelings of safety in indoor cats. Researchers measured stress levels in cats that could freely mark versus cats whose marks were frequently erased. Findings. Cats that could mark freely showed lower baseline stress. Cats whose marks were erased showed elevated stress. Cats in homes that smelled like them showed more relaxation behaviors. When researchers encouraged marking, by not erasing marks, stress levels decreased. Owner mistake identification. Most owners see marking as something to minimize or erase. They don't realize that preventing marking actually prevents the cat from creating emotional safety. Solution, actionable. Allow your cat to mark. Don't obsessively erase scent marks. Keep marked blankets/furniture. Unless they're clearly problematic, allow rubbing without interference. Provide safe surfaces for marking. Scratching posts, blankets. Respect their olfactory landscape. Your cat will mark less obsessively once they've created the scent landscape they need. The marking decreases once their craving is satisfied. The payoff: when you allow your cat to mark and create olfactory ownership, they feel more at home. They're calmer. They're less anxious. The home feels genuinely theirs. You've met a craving they've been expressing through constant marking. Opening question: your cat scratches everything. Furniture, door frames, carpet. You think, my cat is being destructive. She's trying to ruin my home. But what if what you're interpreting as destruction is actually your cat desperately craving specific tactile and physical experiences? Psychology/why it matters. Scratching isn't just about claw maintenance. It's about physical tension release, emotional expression, marking territory through scent, maintaining claw health, expressing stress or excitement. When your cat doesn't have appropriate scratching outlets, they find inappropriate ones. They're not being naughty. They're meeting a craving your environment isn't satisfying. Different textures provide different satisfactions. Vertical scratching, door frames, feels different from horizontal, carpet. Hard scratching, wood, feels different from soft, fabric. The science, credibility. A 2020 study examined scratching behavior and environmental enrichment. Researchers provided cats with varying scratching options and measured behavioral outcomes. Findings: cats with multiple scratching surface options showed 60% less destructive scratching on furniture. Different texture preferences emerged in different cats. Regular scratching access reduced stress-related behaviors when appropriate outlets were provided. Destructive scratching nearly disappeared. Owner mistake identification. Most owners provide 1 or 2 scratching posts and assume that's sufficient. They don't realize different cats crave different textures. Owners who provide variety of scratching surfaces report minimal furniture damage. Solution: actionable. Provide scratching variety. Vertical scratchers for door frame behavior. Horizontal scratchers for carpet behavior. Different textures: rope, cardboard, carpet, wood, sisal. Placement: near favorite spots. In view: multiple options. More surfaces than you think necessary. Let your cat tell you which textures they prefer by observing what they use most. The payoff: when you provide appropriate scratching outlets in the variety your cat craves, destructive furniture scratching dramatically decreases. Your cat's stress decreases. They're expressing themselves appropriately. You've met a craving they've been expressing through destructive behavior. Opening question: you feed your cat. You put food in a bowl. They eat it. Simple. But what if your cat is desperately craving something you're completely missing? The experience of hunting for food. Psychology/why it matters. In the wild, hunting is how cats eat. The hunt comes before the food. The entire predatory system activates in anticipation of eating. The hunt is part of the eating experience. But indoor cats don't hunt for food. Food just appears in a bowl. The predatory system never activates in connection with eating. The neurological sequence is broken. A cat craving this experience shows it through aggressive food behaviors, obsessive focus on meals, playing with food, food-focused anxiety. These aren't behavior problems. They're signs of a craving not being met. The science, credibility. A 2021 study examined the impact of hunting for food behaviors on cat satisfaction and stress. Researchers compared cats fed from bowls versus cats that had to hunt/forage for food using puzzle feeders and other enrichment methods. Findings: cats using puzzle feeders showed higher satisfaction with meals. Foraging for food reduced stress-related behaviors. Cats showed more natural predatory activation. Overall food obsession decreased when cats had to work for food. Solution: actionable. Introduce foraging elements. Puzzle feeders require problem-solving. Hidden food locations require hunting. Slow feeders extend eating time. Varied feeding methods: sometimes bowl, sometimes hunt. Your cat's food-focused anxiety often decreases when the hunting element is reintroduced. The payoff: when you introduce hunting for food experiences, your cat's relationship with food becomes more natural and satisfying. The predatory system activates appropriately. Food-related behaviors improve. You've met a craving they've been expressing through food obsession. Opening question: your cat hides a lot, under the bed, in closets, in small spaces. You think she's antisocial. She doesn't like being around me. But what if what you're interpreting as antisocial behavior is actually your cat desperately craving safe places to retreat? Psychology/why it matters. Hiding spaces aren't antisocial. They're essential for emotional safety. Your cat needs places where they can be completely away from stimulation, where they can process stress, where they can feel protected. Without adequate hiding spaces, your cat lives in a constant state of exposure. They're always vulnerable. They can't fully relax. The science, credibility research shows cats with access to hiding spaces show significantly lower stress levels and more confident behavior overall. Solution, actionable provide hiding spaces. Cat trees with enclosed spaces, boxes, and cat caves under furniture access, closet access. If safe, multiple options, your cat needs choices. The payoff. When you provide adequate hiding/retreat spaces, your cat appears more confident in open areas because they know safety is available. Stress decreases. They seem more balanced. Opening question. Your cat's environment is the same every day. Same layout, same objects, same everything. You think, consistency is good, keeps my cat calm. But what if your cat is desperately craving novelty and environmental change to keep their brain engaged? Psychology/why it matters. Cats' brains need stimulation. Unchanging environments lead to boredom and cognitive decline. Your cat craves novelty. New objects, rearranged furniture, new textures, new scents. The science, credibility studies show cats with regular environmental changes show more cognitive engagement and less depression. Solution, actionable introduce regular novelty. Rotate toys, new toys monthly, rearrange furniture, small changes. Introduce new textures and objects, change window positions, seasonal variations, the payoff. When you introduce appropriate novelty, your cat's engagement increases. They're mentally active. They're happier. You've met a craving they've been expressing through lethargy and disengagement. If these 8 cravings are finally making sense to you, if you're realizing what your cat has been asking for all along, hit like and subscribe so we can share this with every owner who wants to truly understand their indoor cat. On CreatureCode, we decode what your cat is desperately craving. Because understanding your cat is about recognizing these silent requests and meeting them. Your cat craves vertical space and control sensory stimulation through Windows hunting sequence completion, send ownership of their space scratching and physical expression hunting for their food-safe hiding, and retreat spaces mental stimulation through novelty meet these cravings and watch your cat transform. Happier, calmer, more engaged, more bonded to you. Thanks for watching. Your cat has been asking for these things all along.